This video is triggered to play on Dead Space 3's 13th anniversary, so let's go back to the snowy planet where it all ended and enjoy the ride of nostalgia. Months. It's been months since I made my theory, but now it's time to be serious. Is RWBY really the successor to Dead Space? I think so because it has a lot more serious moments than Dead Space ever has. For example, Isaac Clarke lost both of his parents while Ruby Rose lost her only mother. This trope of losing one parent or both represents the pain of being alone. Now, onto the trope of losing a loved one. In the first Dead Space game, Isaac Clarke loses his girlfriend Nicole Brennan, while RWBY has Taeyang lose his wife Summer Rose. This trope is called the dead wife/girlfriend trope, a common trope where the female character's death serves as a catalyst for the male lead's grief, revenge, or character growth. Dead Space explores the pain of PTSD, and RWBY does the same as well, with Raven feeling guilty for her husband and child being left behind, while Ellie feels pain of losing Isaac Clarke during the final moments of Dead Space 3. In RWBY, there are a lot of moments that are more serious. Volume 3 with Ruby Rose witnessing the deaths of Penny and Pyrrha and being separated from her entire team. Volume 5 with Raven's guilt of being a horrible mother. Volume 6 with Salem's curse and her plan to be free from it. Volume 8 with Penny's death. And mostly, Volume 9 with Ruby Rose's mental breakdown. On the other hand, Dead Space had some serious moments. Dead Space 1, Isaac Clarke loses his entire crew and finds out Nicole Brennan had died. Dead Space 2, Isaac Clarke has PTSD and confronts his worst fears. Dead Space 2's DLC Severed, Gabriel Weller sacrifices himself to save Lexine. Dead Space 3, Isaac and Carver go down with the moon to save humanity, which leaves Ellie as the lone survivor. RWBY had more serious moments compared to Dead Space. I think RWBY did more than what Dead Space could have done if the Dead Space franchise was still around for a bit longer. My idea for Dead Space 4 was to have Isaac, Ellie, Carver, and Lexine reunite with each other after Isaac destroys all of the evil to save Earth. And in the end of the story, they all die of old age together and have their adoptive sons and daughters carry on their legacy as the Earth heals. And that is how Dead Space could have ended. This is the story on how RWBY secretly carried on the legacy that is the Dead Space franchise for the many years without people knowing.
Ellie? Ellie?
But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.